I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everybody for coming today. This is a very important time in the young officers' lives when they're sworn in. This is the moment they're going to remember the rest of their life. Yeah, they got through the academy, which that's a challenge. 17 weeks of hard work and dedication to become a police officer. And when they stood on the stage last Friday at Delta College, that was the culmination of all their hard work and dedication. Now it all starts over again. They're being sworn in as a police officer. You're being sworn to protect and serve the community. And you will take great pride in that, as all officers do. That's what you're, and when you're a police officer, you're not just a police officer for 8 hours a day or 12 hours a day. You are a police officer 24/7. You have to act like a police officer. You have to have dignity in life and do the right thing and have integrity. Always remember that. Some of the dignitaries we have here today is our city manager just walked in. He's in the back of the room, Mr. Tim Morales. We have Mr. Dennis Jordan here, who is in charge of our Human Resources Department in the white shirt. And we have several ladies sitting behind him who work with Mr. Jordan. Grace DeLeon, could you stand up, Grace? Grace did a lot of work with the new officers and setting up all their paperwork. And next to her is Lisa Crook. Lisa sets up all their testing and makes sure that everything's proper, and they did everything with that properly and passed. And then we have Ann here, who handles things over in the Human Resources Department also. And I greatly appreciate everybody coming today, and we'll get on with the ceremony at this point. First on the agenda is our Mayor Pro Tem, Floyd Clark.
Thank you, Chief Ruth. Good morning. And on behalf of our mayor, Dennis Browning, our city council, and of all the city staff, it's my pleasure and an honor to have the opportunity to welcome the officer candidates and their family and friends that are here today to celebrate their swearing in. It's a great occasion, a momentous occasion, as the chief has said. I'll be very brief because we want to get right to the swearing in, but the idea that 4 officers have gone through the officers' training and are now preparing for 16 more weeks of training is daunting, but we appreciate the commitment you've made to the city of Saginaw. Serving the public is an important, very significant, and worthy cause. Your willingness to do that for our city is tremendously appreciated. So on behalf of the city, the council, the mayor, and all staff, I want to thank each and every one of you officers for your dedication, for your willingness to serve, and to the families and friend members who are here behind you and supporting you. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clark. We appreciate that. One of the things I want the new officers to remember is when you go out there to protect and serve, you treat people like you want to be treated. Policing has changed. Policing has changed before our eyes, the ones that are already officers. And you're going to see changes in the future as well. Policing is not done the way it was done years ago. We don't go into bars anymore and thump people over the head with billy clubs. We talk to people. And that's how you're going to be good officers in the future. It's the way you communicate with people. You always keep in your mind, you treat people the way you want to be treated. Think about that person you're dealing with as a family member. And how would you want that family member treated if it was another officer that was dealing with that individual? You keep those philosophies in your mind, and you will be a great police officer in the future. A great police officer. You have to get out of your patrol car. Get out and interact with the community and the public. Go into the schools. Go to the neighborhood association meetings. Talk to the business owners. That's how you become a good officer. You interact with the community and know what's going on. Eventually, you're going to know the bad players in the neighborhoods. You're going to know the people in the city. And you're going to come to find out Saginaw's a very busy place. Very busy. There's always something going on. As we're here today, there's officers on the road conducting business. The detectives are out doing things. It is a very, very busy city. And to be a good officer in the future, you just have to remember those fine words. Treat people with respect. Treat them the way you want to be treated. Okay? I don't want you to ever forget that in the future. Those are the keys. As far as the swearing-in ceremony goes, we will begin now. Ryan, if you could step forward. Ryan Jaruski. You could step forward and stand here and face the audience. I know I'm going to mess this one up. Maybe I'll get it right in the first time. Desiree Kizinowek. If you could stand next to Ryan. Adam Parsons. If you could step forward. And Chandler Walton. If you could step forward. You notice I called you by your name. I didn't call you officer. Because in a few moments, our deputy city clerk, Christine Bolzman, is going to come up and they're going to swear you in. When you're sworn in, you will be a police officer with the city of Saginaw.
Office of Police Officer for the City of Saginaw, according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations to our new officers. At this point in time, we'd like to have the pinning of the badge. Would Kristen please come forward for Ryan? And next, Officer Kizinowek's brother, Levi. And the next for Officer Adam Parsons, his girlfriend, Ashley. And last, we have Officer Chandler Walton's mother. Congratulations. This is a very proud moment, as I stated earlier, for an officer when they get sworn in. I hope that they have a very, very good career ahead of them. This is an extremely proud moment when you first get sworn in. And I think that these 4 officers are just going to be an extremely good credit to our agency and a good addition to our officers that we presently have at the department. The department has taken a total change in the last 3.5 to 4 years. These new officers are part of about 34 or 35 officers now that have been hired in the last 3 years. The culture of the police department has totally changed. It's a younger department now, a much more vibrant department that I think is more interactive with the community. As you can see from watching the news, the different things that some of the officers are doing and the events that they're attending, you can plainly see if you pay attention to that. And I wish them well in the future and best of luck in their careers. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. I did forget 2 people. Sitting over here to my right is Lieutenant Craig Bell. Craig runs our patrol division, and the new officers will be under his command during the training process. They are now going to start a 3-week orientation starting today, and then on January 5th of 2018, they're going to start a 16-week FTO process. And what that is for the family members is they're going to ride with an officer. They're going to ride with one officer each month to learn what that officer does. They're basically on probation for 1 year. During that 1-year period, we're going to watch their activity and monitor how they do things. One of the key important elements for us is safety, officer safety. We are going to teach them to be safe. We don't go on calls alone. We always wait for backup before we go in, whether it's a block away, 2 or 3 houses away. We teach the officers to be safe. We teach them to always watch their backs. So they're going to go through that process, very intensive training for the next probably 17, 18 weeks total before they're out on their own. They're not going to be able to go out and make decisions on their own until at least probably about late April, early May of next year. We want to make sure that they're trained properly. So they'll be under the command of Lieutenant Bell. Next to him is Lieutenant Konjorski. He did forget his coat and his hat today, but I guess he brought the donuts. So, you know, like all good cops, the donuts and the coffee's in the back. So make sure when the ceremony's over, you stop back and grab a cup of coffee and a donut. Yes, you have to have your priorities straight. Lieutenant Konjorski is the administrative lieutenant. He handles internal affairs, things along that line. These guys don't want to see him the first year or so. They want to stay away from him. Just from a good standpoint, from a training standpoint, that's about it. So that's it with our ceremony this morning. If you'd like to get up and take some pictures with the new officers, you're more than welcome. Have a cup of coffee, and they're going to start their training process, effective today at about 1:30 after lunch. Thank you very much.